And well, filing taxes, never fun. It seems like every year there's new laws or changes that you need to worry about so you don't get audited. So this morning we have a tax attorney, Vinar IR, here with us to share some of the more important tips to keep in mind. Good morning, Vinar. We appreciate you taking time. I know it's a busy time of year for you. I talk about filing taxes. People can stress out about it. Do people really need to worry so much?
Well, not so much. I mean, as long as you stay organized and make sure you get everything on your return, it doesn't need to be as stressful as people tend to make it out to be.
What should people be focusing on as they start to put those taxes together?
Well, for now, you should just be getting all your records together and get them in a neat, orderly fashion so that if you're doing your returns yourself or taking them to an accountant, you can make sure not to leave anything off and go through it methodically. And
what kind of records, again, just for people who may not have a lot of experience doing it?
All the W-2s and 1099s and the mortgage interest statements should all be coming in this time of year. They need to be mailed out by January 31st, so if you haven't already received them, you should be getting them soon. And if you're self-employed or in business, you need to track all your expenses and start adding up what you spent throughout the year so you make sure you get your deductions.
But I'll tell you what, I'm sure a lot of people like myself, you start to do this, you're like, boy, how can I save some money? What are some examples or tips that you have for people?
Well, right now, even though we're past the end of the year, it's not too late to contribute to your retirement savings accounts. The rule is if you put the money in your IRA by April 15th, you can still count it as a deduction for last year. If you're self-employed, you can do the same thing with a self-employed pension. If you can actually put away up to $52,000 and deduct it on last year's taxes.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Also the flexible spending accounts too that people sometimes can forget about as well.
Right. If you haven't spent everything that you have in your flexible spending account, you could have a 2.5-month grace period, or you can roll the amount over to this year and spend it this year. That's a decision made at the employer level, so you should talk to your employer and see how they treat their flexible spending accounts.
You know this stuff like the back of your hand. It's your craft. At the beginning of our talk, you were talking about being organized. How does one get organized truly to make a difference?
Well, you can get some personal finance software, Quicken, QuickBooks, start inputting all your receipts, and that helps add everything up and print reports. And it's just a matter of, you don't want to go to your accountant with a shoebox full of receipts because then he's going to charge you to go through them and organize them. You want to categorize them. It helps to look at a tax return so you can see how things are categorized on the return, and you organize your receipts in the same manner.
How much of a problem are penalties right now? Are people really making mistakes where they get penalties?
Absolutely. If you have to make sure to get everything on your return, because if you leave out a 1099 or W-2, IRS will send you a bill, they'll issue a penalty. Another big penalty are the failure to pay penalties. If you think you're going to owe this year, it's a good idea to make an estimated tax payment now, so that way you don't get hit with failure to deposit and failure to make your estimated payment penalties.
Okay, once you get that, what about reviewing the returns once you get them?
Well, you have to remember that even if you hire somebody else to do your return, ultimately you're the one responsible for what's on there. It's your signature. So you need to make sure that your accountant goes through the return with you line by line. And if there's anything you don't understand, you should ask before the return's sent out, because if there's a mistake there, you're the one who's responsible and you're the one who's going to have to pay the penalties.
Okay, real quick, true or false, is it a possibility that if you're getting a return it's going to be late this year because the IRS has less to work with?
True. They've been cutting the budget. So.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Vinar, we appreciate your time. Thanks again. I guess we'll try to keep our patience. Vinar IR. Guys, we'll send it back over to you.